Hello, hello, hello. I am back. I woke up this morning and I was like, I'm back with the B, but I was like, that ain't me. I don't do that. But it kind of came to my mind at first. But I'm back for this. But yeah, so I am here and it is a winning Wednesday. Hey Kurt, thank you for joining. Hey Bob, thanks for tuning in. Hey, hey, hey. It is a winning Wednesday. Hey, Evangelist Tara. It is your girl, Veronica, Coach V, whatever that girl over there, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for dinner. So, how's everybody doing? Hey, Evangelist Tara. Hey, Stacy. I'm so excited to be back. I thank you for your grace and allowing me the opportunity to take a vacation. Yes, I went on a vacation, kind of gone for a little while, but I am so happy to be back. I had a wonderful time. If you've never been on the Capital Jazz Cruise, myself and my friend Kimberly Morris, who's been like 8 times out of the 12 that it's offered, can definitely tell you that it is a fantastic time of music and fellowship and fun. And so I had to take a break to get my little vacation on, and I had a ball. So, but I did miss doing Winning Wednesdays, and I'm so glad to be back and to be in the presence of you all. And hey, Brenda. And hey, Janet, and hey, Lynette. I'm so glad that you guys are here, and I'm so glad to be here. And so I am going to share with you who I am and why I'm here, and kind of like I forget, I think it's been a couple weeks. It's been 3 weeks. But so I am Veronica Matthews, your victorious living life coach, your Coach V. And I am a coach and a HR consultant, and so human resources consultant. And so I created Winning Wednesdays as an opportunity to be able to talk and to share and to provide some encouragement, some inspiration, some motivation, and some support to us as we go through life and the life's ups and downs and ins and outs and goods and bads, and just to kind of help to ease you through the week. So because hump day, hey, that Geico commercial is back with the hump day and the camel. I saw it. I've seen it a couple of times in the last couple of days, but it's like Mike. What's today? Do you know what today is? So yeah, but today's Winning Wednesday, and it's my give back, my opportunity to be able to share and to come before you and to provide you some motivation, some inspiration, and some support. And so today is going to be a little different. I'm kind of going to backtrack because I don't think I've ever shared who I am and what I'm doing and at this stage in my life. And that kind of leads me into the topic for today, which is called the pivot. And so I taking you not back too far, but I do have to go back to kind of growing up and to being in elementary school. And I'm originally from the DMV. I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland, the product of a 2-parent home, and I'm the youngest of 6. And so I lived kind of a sheltered life. So my parents, in their infinite wisdom, they loved me so much that they wanted to protect me from a lot of things. So I was a very sheltered child. And so there wasn't a lot I could do. Like when I was in high school, a lot of my friends, and Lynette, if you're still around, you guys used to go down to Georgetown and hang out. And I didn't do that until like I was a sophomore in college. My first time going down to Georgetown was when I was in college. And so it was the craziest thing. So I didn't get a chance to experience a lot. So when I graduated from high school, I went away to college. And I didn't go very far. I just went up to UMBC. Up the road in Catonsville, but I kind of let loose, and I went a little reckless and a little buck wild, and so academic probation kind of called my name with a 1.9 GPA because I wasn't going to class. 8 o'clock class. I am not a morning person, so 8 o'clock class is me. That was the silliest thing I could have ever done. Hey Joe. So anyway, long story short, kind of let loose, reckless, went wild, and did all these crazy things. Got drunk, threw up at a party on my way back to my dorm room. I was just a mess. And so I woke up one morning. It's like, okay, I got to get my life together. This was even before people were saying, girl, get your life. And so I said, okay, I got to get my life together because I'm too old to be doing all these crazy things. So I was about to be put out. So I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and transfer. And so actually, Howard was my first choice, but I didn't want to live at home. And so what did I do? I went back home and went to Howard. And so my parents was like, okay, well, so you messed up and you now have to pay for your college. And so I was like, no. So long story short, they made a deal with me. They said, okay, you work over the summer, you pay your tuition, we'll pay your books, and then we'll flip-flop. You pay your books and then we'll pay your tuition. So did that, buckled down. I was older than most of the other kids there, and I was a commuter. So I ended up just hustling, doing my books, doing my schoolwork, finished my program, 4-year program in like 3.5 years, and graduated with honors, whoop whoop, and knew that at that point that I wanted to go into human resources. So human resources is the area of the company, for every company that exists, the area that handles the employees. And so I knew that that was a passion for me. And because I like people, I really liked the working with people that don't get on my nerves all the time. And so, to be able to balance that a little bit. And I went through that, got my first job, been in HR now for about 24 years, but I don't like recruiting. And I don't like some of the other aspects of HR, but I love coaching. I love working with people, helping bring out the best in them. And so I pivoted into what it is that I enjoyed the most, which is HR. So the part of me is like, I'm a good teller and I'm a good trainer and I'm a good supporter. I'm not a very good follower though. I don't necessarily always follow my own advice and my own inspiration and encouragement very much myself. And so I'll get back to that because I had a conversation with a friend yesterday, and that's a little bit a part of the pivot. So continuing on, I started to really coach and kind of get into that and really love it. And then in 2015, I found this coaching course. And so I was like, I'm a perpetual student. I love to learn. Let me go take this course. Little did I know that God would blow my mind, because I've been asking God. I was like, God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? What am I doing? What's going on? And I didn't get an answer. Number one, because I didn't sit still long enough to find out, to listen. And then number two, because I guess I wasn't ready to receive what it was. And so second day of class, 1:00 p.m., I'm here after lunch. I'm working on my computer, I'm listening, and all of a sudden it's like the sky opens up. I hear this music, and I'm just like, that's an exaggeration. But I received an epiphany and a revelation from God that, look, you've been asking me, little girl, what your purpose is, and this is it. And I was like, what? So tears welled up in my eyes. I'm sure anybody that was around me was like, what the heck is going on with her? And I just discovered, uncovered and released that, coaching is my passion and my purpose. And so I decided to pursue it. But like whenever you get the revelation from God in any message, those of you that have been called into ministry, you may know that sometimes the first thing you do is run in the opposite direction. Like, what did Jonah do, right? When God told him to go to Nineveh, he got on a boat and went in a completely opposite direction from Nineveh. And so I ran from it for like a year, because I was like, oh, if I'm going to start my business, I need some money. And so I did real estate investing, didn't make a deal, didn't make a dime. And so I wasted like a whole year. And so almost a year to the day of me graduating from that first program, I ended up inking VLM Coaching and Consulting, because I knew that coaching is my purpose, but I still really enjoy human resources work. And so I'm still in it. And I started getting out there and coaching. So I don't want you to believe that I just woke up one day and said, I I want to be like Iyanla Vanzant, and I'm going to be a life coach. It happened through the work that I do, and through my communications, and through the job that I have, and the passion that I have in working in my career. So this has been 24 years in the making, me being a coach. And the revelation just kind of hit me in 2015 when God felt that I was ready to receive it, ready to be able to act on it, and ready to be able to walk in it. And now I come to 2017. So I experienced a loss in 2015 of my mom. And then come to 2017, I experienced the loss of my father. And that kind of sent me into a tailspin. And in the end of the year, I lost my job. I lost a really good job. And so that's part of the first. So the first pivot was me it's not really a pivot, but it was me going from HR to the specialization of me desiring to coach and kind of walk in my purpose and my passion. And so the second pivot was me walking in the opportunity that I felt that God, at that time, God had opened the door for me to work in my business full time. So I was like, yay, God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. And I got out there and was out there and just doing what I thought, and nothing was happening. Absolutely nothing, like crickets, dry. And so meanwhile, the balance in my bank account was like cha-ching, 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 like going down instead of going up. And so I'm struggling, I'm hustling, I'm networking, I'm talking to people, I'm doing presentations, I'm just putting myself out there, and nothing is really happening, nothing is breaking through. And so I was like, okay. So come July of 2018, I did my third pivot, which was to, okay, so maybe God didn't call me into full-time work, just full-time entrepreneurship just yet. I need some benefits because I'm about to lose my mind with all this entrepreneur stuff and nothing's really happening. So let me get some benefits so that I can go see a counselor and get a therapist and get my life together, kind of get my life. And so I started working part-time in July of 2018. And so really what I thought was like, okay, my rationale was like, okay, I get these benefits, I'll get a stable salary, and then I'll be able to use the coaching income to supplement that and to be able to live the lifestyle that I had been living. Wrong answer. So again, nothing happened. I mean, and when I say nothing, it's not absolutely nothing. It's just like not to the level of what I thought and expected. And so I'm going along, clicking, and things are happening, and I get some breaks, and then they come back, they fall back, and then I get some breaks, and I move forward, and then I fall back. And so I was like, look, this roller coaster, this up and down and in and out is just not good. And so that brings me to right before my vacation. The first day of 2019, hey Greta, first day of 2019, I'm going from my house to my parents' house to celebrate with my sister's New Year's Day and eat dinner. And what do? I catch a nail in my tire. First day of 2019. And I'm like, 2019 is my year. It's my year of expansion. It's my year of, I'm talking about my one word. I'm encouraging you guys through Winning Wednesdays to, to kind of live intentionally, live purposely, and just walk in whatever it is that's going to complete you and make you happy and bring you to fulfillment and joy. And what do? I go out here and start the year off with a bang by popping my tire. And then so that leads me to a patch, which then leads me to the day before I'm about to leave for vacation, and my tire is completely flat. And so that means that I then have to use the resources that I was going to use for my vacation on my tire. And that was pretty disappointing for me. So I was like, I made myself sick. from worry of, kind of not being able to make ends meet. It's not really working. And it just was not a pretty sight. And so my pivot again is what leads me to now. And all of this is important for you. I'll get to that and right after I tell you this. So now I've come to the realization that because the ends, these are my financial ends, and this is exactly how much I probably got this much distance, but that's off the camera. But I'll go for camera purposes. This is the distance between what I had. This gap here is what my shortfall is on a monthly basis for my financial resources. And so basically I'm kind of in a situation where I'm just paying a bare minimum. And so like I don't answer my phone because the creditors are calling, and I'm like, you know what, Veronica, you wait till you get in your 50s to start really effing up your life. And so I'm like, what kind of coach are you? That you get yourself into this situation, and what kind of example, who are you, how are you living authentically, and being an example of what you encourage and support and bring out of your clients. And that was like a real eye-opening moment for me. And it's like, okay, responsibility is super important, and I'm not living responsibly right now. So once I kind of picked my face up off the floor and really did some soul searching and some honest evaluation of where I was like, okay, something got to give. And so the give is my next pivot, where I am now. And so I've come to the realization that I still love coaching. I'm still a coach. I still have clients that I'm working with, and I'm still doing that. However, I am going to move out into go back, kind of pivot back to where I was and get a full-time job to be able to to kind of get this monkey off my back, and to be able to go and be in a better place of financial freedom, or at least financial stability, right? Because I'm just like up, down, in and out, robbing Peter to pay Paul, borrowing, and that's just completely not how I was raised, not how I've lived my life. I've been the lender, and like the word says, the borrower is a slave to the lender. And I'm in a slave mode right now, and it's not me, and it's not where I want to be, and it's not who I am. It's not indicative of who I am, because I've always been the lender. Like my family, they come, and I've always had the ability to be able to give to others. Now some are saying, oh well, it's kind of like the tables are turning, now this is your time of need. And I definitely agree with that, because that's truly where I am, but it's not where I want to be. And I'm not saying that I'm not being obedient to God and appreciating where I am. It's just that I believe that true children of God don't really put themselves, or aren't really in this situation. And so I really recognize that I'm disconnected in a lot of places, and I want to get reconnected to myself, to my ministry, to my purpose, to my passion, to my life, to my vibrancy, to my support. But I would tell you what, God is so good, because even though I was at a situation where I was, about to lose my mind right before I got my job, and, got my therapist, and she's been beautiful. Utopia Health Center out in Greenbelt. That they accept insurance, and so wonderful therapists out there. So I recommend them too. And if you need recommendations for therapists, I know other therapists that I'm connected to that I can send you to. But yeah, so these are, God has been good, but that's what I meant to say. But God has been good. He's kept me. He's provided for me every step of the way. And just when I think that I'm the rope, like I got to tie a knot in and hold on, he's always there, and he's always providing, and he's always placing people in my life that I can go to, that come to me, that I go to, that provide encouragement and support and motivation for me, and have also been financial rescues for me in some cases. You know, my sister and friend Erica, and my cousin Laryl, and just people love up on me, and I'm just so appreciative. And I'm just so blessed. And so the how it relates to you in pivoting is that it's okay when things don't quite work out the way you want them to. You're going along. You started 2019 with a bang. You got your one word. You're living into it. You're going to the gym. You're eating right. You are taking your classes. You are focusing on your word. You are doing your fasting, and you're praying, and you're doing it. And then a bump in the road happens, and you aren't able to continue on the track that you thought that you would be. And so, God, I'm getting emotional, but I'm not gonna cry. But you know, you pivot, right? So you figure out where you are in relation to where it is you want it to be, and you dust yourself off, you forgive yourself, and you, oh goodness gravy, I'm so sorry, I didn't want to do this, but you move in the direction, in your pivoting, you get back on track, and you do whatever is necessary. Whatever God is telling you to do, you listen, and you follow through, and you do what is necessary in order to be able to recover and to move forward in the way back on track to get you to the destination that you are doing. And so pivoting just means that you're being redirected. And so a dream deferred is never a dream denied. It just means that it's not the right time. And so when it is your time, and when it is the proper plan for you, you will be able to move forward in a way in which you're complete and you're whole, and you're connected, and you're just clicking on cylinders, you know, because trouble don't last always. You know, that's a song, but it's the truth. And it is the area that we all, you know, kind of every once in a while we have our struggles. You know, life is not always perfect. It's not always rosy. And the conversation that I mentioned earlier is I had a friend of mine called me, and you know, he calls me for kind of HR consulting support, and you know, we're just really good friends, and he's always a listening ear and a great support, and definitely encourager of me and my business. And so I was a little down because I kind of had the revelation that, look, something's not working and something's got to give, and I wanted to be able to get back on track. So that's when I had resolved to do the hey Sharon, that's when I resolved to do the you know, to kind of go back and get a full-time job. And so he was like, wait a minute now, I'm not talking to Coach right now. Who am I talking to? And I was like, you know, I'm still here. And so we went on with our conversation, and then it just kind of, it comes out of me, you know, it's in me, so it's got to come out. And so I was able to give him the support that he's like, there you go. That's the coach I called for. Excuse me. And so I say all that to say that when you are walking in your purpose, it doesn't matter how many detours that you may take on your own because you veer off course, or because God redirects you around something that's going to be harmful or hurtful or not in a part of the plan. Whether it's you directing yourself or God redirecting you, whenever you pivot, you always have the opportunity to recover, because there's grace, and there is forgiveness, and there's restoration. Because I firmly believe that 2019 is the year of restoration for a lot of things, for people to be restored what they've lost, and kind of what the cankerworm and the locusts have eaten and destroyed, that that God is going to bring it all back. And so I firmly believe that for us that are truly believers and are walking in our purpose, and we're following and we're listening and we're obeying and we're supporting and building the kingdom, that there is the opportunity for us to be restored and to just kind of come back into whatever we've lost. And because like I think it's 2 Samuel where David had come back from the fight, and the whole camp was destroyed, and all the children and the women were gone, and they were ready to kill him. His little troops were ready to kill him, and he was like, Lord, should we pursue? And God was like, definitely pursue, because you will recover all, and you would definitely pursue and overtake. And so yeah, that's pivoting. Pivoting is number one, not losing sight of your goal. You started off on a plan and a direction that you wanted to go in, and you still have that in mind, but you get a little off course, again, whether it's you veering off or God redirecting you, but you find yourself in a place where something's not working. And you realize what the gap is. The gap is where you are, and here is where you want to be. And so what is it going to take for you in that middle to be able to get back to the direction that you wanted to go in? And that's what pivoting is. And so in dancing, I don't know if I have any line dancers that are watching right now, or that will watch on the replay. The pivot is like you turn left, you turn right, you turn back, but basically one foot stays planted and the other one moves, right? And so when you pivot, you stay planted in the fact that you have your goal, you have your objective, you have your purpose and your plan, and you stay rooted in that. But you might need to move your feet, or you might need to turn your body or your head in another direction. And that is only temporary, because your foot is planted, you always come back to where you need to be. Hallelujah, God. Thank you, Lord. So, I'm not a preacher, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, but I just really firmly believe that the goodness of God is what we need, and it always roots us, and it always grounds us, and it always keeps us focused, that even when we have to pivot, even when we go off course, that we can always have something to come back to, and that we can always redirect and focus. Hey Kathy, thanks for joining. And so yes, that's what the pivot is. So it was a little bit of transparency. It was a little bit of my journey, and me personally, and my personal pivots, because I've had a couple. And it's the opportunity for you to be able to learn from my mistakes, and for you to be able to know that I don't just sit here telling you these things, that I'm actually kind of using them and living them out. And I actually, in coaching, and in my coaching program, is something that we call that we're a clearing. So what I go through is a clearing for my clients, and whatever I go through is a clearing for you. So you Winning Wednesday watchers, that your pivot, it might not be as drastic as mine, but your pivot might be on the way. So now you know what to look out for, and now you know how to redirect and reposition yourself, that when it comes time for your pivot, that you're prepared, that you're encouraged, that you motivate, that you know that all you have to do is turn around, stay grounded, and stay planted in your goals, your objectives, your purpose, and your Lord, and your faith. And then just move your body, or move your head, or move yourself to face a different part of your situation, and then come back to where you need to be. So I know I missed some comments up here. I take my glasses off because I can't read. So, oh gosh, thank you, Evangelist Tara. Aha! Oh wow, yeah. Usually it kind of comes in twos. You got a cousin for whatever you're going through. There's always somebody else that's going through it, and I'm glad that I could be real and I could share that, so that anybody that's going through, that yeah, we do need to talk, and we can kind of hook that up. Thanks, Kurt. I appreciate that. And part of my growth as a coach, and I do have a coach, and so she was sharing with me that in my Winning Wednesdays, that's an opportunity, in addition to be able to share, is an opportunity for me to be transparent. And I don't think I've really shared very much about who I am and where I've come from, and I know I've dropped little nuggets and bits and pieces, but that was kind of an encapsulation. I didn't go all the way back to kind of the root cause of some of my mind challenges, but I didn't go all the way back to that. But there's opportunity. I'm still here. My anniversary for Winning Wednesdays is coming up in a couple months in March, so maybe I'll get to go way back. Absolutely delayed but not denied. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate you. And so I know that you are pivoting, sis. And so that you, kind of going from not having kids to having two, and then, even having one that you're discovering has some challenges. So you're in my prayers, and I know that you are the pivot queen. You are my idol. So, but I thank you so much. So this has been my edition, my welcome back edition from vacation of Winning Wednesdays. And if there are no more comments or concerns or questions, I am going to close it out with my expression of my love for you, for watching, for tuning in. If you are watching this on the replay and you do not see live on the corner of your screen, then please feel free also to comment and to engage, because I do engage even after the broadcast is ended. Oh, thank you, Joe. I so appreciate you, and I so love you. And I'm so glad. I'm so mad that I missed seeing you and Nola, but I'm glad she had fun and got a chance to go out there. But yeah, so this is the end of Winning Wednesday, and I thank you so much for joining me, and I thank you for your support and your encouragement and your just being with me as I shared and going through my pivots. And I'll definitely keep you posted as I go through. But know that I love you and I appreciate you, and I want you to finish the week strong. Know that you are more than a conqueror. Know that all things are possible through Christ, and that when you pivot, don't pivot alone, right? So if you have to pivot, reach out for support, and know that you reach out to God, but you also have humans that you can contact, and the people that hold you accountable, and the people that love you and know what you're going through. Just pour out your heart to them, and with discernment to know who they are and the right people, and know that they are there to be able to bring you through, and they're God's representatives to be able to support you through whatever you're going through. So I thank you for joining again, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I'll be here for another edition of Winning Wednesday, and I hope you have a great evening and have a wonderful end of your week, and have an awesome weekend, and know that I love you and appreciate you, and I will see you next week. All right. Good night.